You're live.
All right, everybody. Welcome back to the One Ring, our very long-going campaign using the Cubicle 7 system by the same name. We are on Book 4, Chapter 2 tonight. It's sure to be a good one. If you enjoy watching these videos, go over to our YouTube channel. Just search for Blade and Blasters RPGs, and on there there'll be a link to subscribe, so hit that. And if you want to check us out on Discord, there's also a link to our Discord channel. Alright, so without further ado, guys, we are going to get started. Everybody make sure that their volume is turned all the way up, because the introduction will be from a sound file. So, here we go. Alright. The battle is over. It is quiet again, besides your heavy breathing and the crackle of the campfire. The moon's silver light melts through autumn leaves that glow gold and crimson in the firelight, and cast shadows that dance against the trees. Horsath Barrelbrew sits up and rubs his forehead. Groaning, he looks at his palm and sees it slick with blood. "Oh my," he says. His forehead creases with concern. "It seems my merry band has run afoul of a troll." The dwarf looks to his left and sees the hulking form of Jack the Baker laying motionless just outside the campfire's flickering ring of light. He nods his head and breathes, relieved. "I am most fortunate that a company such as yourselves has wandered into this wood at night in the troll shawls." His eyes narrow and become tiny, doubtful slits, and he folds his thick arms, suddenly skeptical. Horsath Barrelbrew then sputters and looks in vain for his axe. He stands up and bares his fist. "What are you after? If it is treasure, we have only just claimed it. It is rightly ours." His eyes narrow. "There were 7 of us before Jack showed up and made a meal out of my dear brother." He hangs his head and looks across the camp to where a male hauberk lays on the ground. "Oh, the leagues we have traveled together, over mountains and deep into dark caverns, only to end up in the belly of a troll." Horsath then kicks the troll's carcass and stifles a scream as his toes are no doubt bruised. "Jack the bloody baker! You deserved worse." Minutes before, the company, traveling long leagues across the east road, spied splinters of firelight peeking from beneath the trees to the north. Creeping closer, they found a monstrous troll and one very stout and haughty dwarf. They surprised the troll, and soon Jack the Baker was bested. He was slain, leaving the company alone in the forest and well away from the road. The dwarf finishes. "Do not underestimate my thanks, travelers, but do not overestimate my hospitality." "Our business is our own," Horsath grumbles. "I appreciate your timely assistance, but I have 5 fellows to find in the dark, and you're in my way." He stumbles through the filthy troll camp, looking for his lost weapon. All right, so here we are. We are at our troll camp, and you have just felled Jack the Baker. Likely you are all bruised and battered at least a little bit. At your feet lay the slain bodies of many orcs and the monstrous form of Jack the Baker flickering in the firelight there. Horsath Barrelbrew is kind of looking around for his axe. Every once in a while, cast a wary eye at you. "Oh, so Don't just stand there. Tell me about yourselves, travelers. So, did you hear that?
Yeah, Grimbrand would be sitting there, probably trying to cook something on the fire. Not many honey cakes left, most like, and looks at Horsath and... I'm Grimbrand. I come from the Bjorning tribes to the north. I'm a messenger. I fell in with these fine fellows. We're traveling to bring another message.
Another message? No. I've heard of you Bjornings. Bear folk, am I right?
Grimbrand looks at his cloak that he's wearing, made of a bear. Yes, bear folk.
Brave bear folk, I dare say, wandering beneath these dark, deep boughs at night. And he looks at you very suspiciously. So just what are you after? Here, north of the Great East Road. It would take somebody quite foolhardy to come here. Myself and my merry band, we are brave, haughty dwarves. You travelers look, well, not equipped for a journey in the woods.
We intended to stay along the roads, but we heard childish girlish screaming in the wood, so we came running as fast as we could.
The Bjornings always did like a good time, and they had a witty sense of humor. Girlish screams. Ha! You disrespect my dead brother! He points to the hauberk there.
Aglaron chimes in. Haste is our ally, Master Dwarf.
Well, if there's haste is your ally, well, at least I recommend going no further tonight. We were, well, you could say, ambushed by Jack here and his pitiful band of scraggly, sniveling orcs. I do suppose I owe you some debt of gratitude for coming in here when you did, but again, our business is our own. Ian, are you back?
We're live.
Okay, and we're back. We might end up cutting out this part, but we're picking up from where we left off last game. We had some technical issues. I'm not sure if it was on the Discord's end or the internet's end, but we had to quit probably after 20 minutes into the session. But to recap what happened the last time as our adventurers, after stumbling north of the Great East Road on their way to Fornost, they came upon a monstrous troll who was about to eat what looked to be a dwarf. Our heroes leapt into action, or crept into action, as it were, and the dwarf was knocked unconscious. And in the meantime, the adventurers, Aglaron, Barendir, Grimbrand the Runner, and Dwathrog, made short work of that monstrous troll. They cut him down like the monster he was, and slew about 5 orcs besides. The scene opened up with the dwarf regaining consciousness. His name, you found out, is Horsath Barrelbrew, and he started to introduce himself and tell you his story, and that was about the time the internet took a major crap on us, since this is the clean version of Tor. Although after doing my mashup film, I'm pretty sure that we were never really that clean. So, fucking A, let's get started. I'm going to change the fucking slide. I was doing that mashup, and it was just fuck this, fuck that. Oh, we're fucked.
Oh, God.
Alright. Alright, so Horsath Barrelbrew sits up, rubs his head and says, Oh, thank you for stumbling through the woods when you did. I was about to be in that monstrous Troll's belly. Ah, where's my axe? And he starts looking around the fire for his axe. Don't all jump in at once here.
Well, Agrawam will try and help him find his axe.
Okay. And I think you looked for it, but you could not find it, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, so he looks at, Horsath looks at Agawam and he says, well, at least somebody's trying to help me here. And of all folks, and he kind of looks at you, and in the firelight you can see your pointed ears. Of all the helpers in the Middle Earth, it has to be an elf. The rest of you, I suppose, have some courtesy. And I believe that Barondir introduced himself with great success. Grimbrand, I believe that Horsath put dislike to.
Yes.
And I can't remember what happened with Wathrong.
Same thing.
Yes.
Same thing.
Yes.
So, I after reviewing the rules for encounters, I'm not a giant fan of them. So we'll just RP it out and we'll make social rules as needed. So take it from there. So Horsath looks at Grimbrand as Grimbrand's looking around trying to find the axe and says, "Oh, there you go. Perhaps a little guilt instilled at you. Caused you to bend your back and look around the fire for my weapon. After all, where there's trolls and goblins about, there's bound to be more. Am I right, Barondir of Gondor?" I think you introduced yourself, so.
Yeah, he did. Yes. What was the last thing he said?
I just said, that where there's one troll and orcs about, there's bound to be more.
Yes, I'm sure there would if there was one that was bold enough to creep forward this far inward. It's best we remain vigilant, ever watchful.
Indeed. Horsath looks around and Grimbrand is frantically searching for the axe and says, "Well, it's kind of you to bring a blind Bjorning, but it's rather charitable." He kind of shuffles around the fire and picks up the troll's big monstrous arm and looks under it for his axe. Lets it crash back down. "Well, indeed, we must remain vigilant. Unfortunately, my brother was not, nor was I or my friends. We were just north of here, exploring some ruins, when old Jack the Baker and his troop of goblins stumbled upon us. I dare say it wasn't our proudest moment. We scattered like leaves in the wind. I suppose myself and my brother are rather slow. We were the only ones captured."
Now, we're
Agrawam
currently
walks around
where?
looking up. Go ahead.
No, I was trying to add, we're currently where? The Troll Shaws?
Yep. Just north of the road in the Troll Shaws. Very near where Bilbo saw the trolls.
Yeah, but this is kind of like elven territory, turf, for the most part, isn't it?
No, not necessarily. Just the trolls about.
I know there's supposed to be like, of course, trolls and wild men or something like that. But that's what I was trying to get a feel for. I thought it was predominantly known for being populated by elves. I didn't know about many dwarves that were in Troll Shaws.
Oh, so he kind of looks at you and says, "Ah, you must wonder why I'm here, no?" And Dwalthrog, why don't you give me a search?
Well, Agrawam's walking around looking up in the trees. "Did you perhaps throw it into a tree, Master Dwarf?"
No, I dare say I didn't throw it into a tree. Oh. When Jack the Baker roared at me, my hands became cold. I dropped it somewhere. Oh. At least, don't tell anyone that secret. My brother never will. He never made it out of this alive.
Perhaps it'd be best if we retraced your steps. Where you initially encountered the beast.
Indeed. And he starts to kind of walk around the fire and kind of ever expanding, kind of outwardly concentric circles. And he kind of recounts to you the tale about he and his brethren, about how years and years ago, you might remember this from the other campaign, he was part of a caravan kind of migrating from Eredluin, the Blue Mountains, all the way east to the Lonely Mountain. And he kind of says, well, you know, myself and my brother never really fit those dwarves. We decided to stay back. There were so many ruins to explore in these parts. We've been delving and spelunking ever since, and it's paid off until now.
Vander kind of raised an eyebrow at that. He says, "These ruins were of your people?"
Nay. The old men. I don't know much of their lore, but apparently back in the olden days, there were many guard towers and castles in these parts, overlooking the east from the wicked men that once roamed in these hills. And do you have any traits, any lore traits, Barondir? Gondor lore.
Gondor and Shadow lore.
What does the Arthedain have?
I'll tell you in a second. Lore of Arnor and Shadow lore.
Perfect. So what you would know, Dwathrog is around this region of old, back earlier in the Third Age. The kingdom of Arnor was split into three. The first kingdom to fall to the forces of evil was Ruadar, and the two remaining kingdoms were Arthedain and Cardolan. You know of Cardolan because of that ancient lineage. Eravul, Tet's character, is kind of the last remaining prince of that lineage. And you would know, Dwathrog, that in this region there were like large fortresses and towers that protected that border between Ruadar and Arthedain. And so it might not be unusual for there to be, towers and castles and storerooms and that sort of thing in this area.
Treasure, you say? I imagine all the castles and towers that were built at some point. That one of them is what you speak of.
You're one of them rangers, aren't you? I suppose you do know these woods and these lands and hills. And it appears you know something of its history as well, am I right?
Aye, that I do.
Kind of looks around to the rest of you, kind of thinking, kind of in his eyes about how much to tell you. He says, here it is, and he kind of reaches over underneath one of the logs that's kind of next to the fire. He kind of pries out an axe, and Horsath kind of hefts it up in the air and goes, here it is, sharp as ever. Of course, it was never slaked on the blood of a troll. Maybe I'll change that before the day is over. And he kind of looks to all of you and says, I know it's the middle of the night now, but if you would stay with me, I would have your company. And then perhaps, would you be willing to help me find my lost brethren? And even after that, perhaps reclaim the treasure that was ours and that Jack the Baker tried to steal from us.
Dothrak will look over at Brigadier, waiting for him to see if he says anything.
He said his brethren? How many dwarves were supposedly killed here? I know he said his brother.
He had his brother, and there are several other dwarves that he mentioned were scattered after Jack the Baker kind of surprised them. And moved
Okay.
and ran them.
So that's vaguely remembering
Mhm.
that.
Our Discord was like really choppy that entire time for like 20 minutes.
Look at y'all, rub his chin. The cause seems just. Let's regroup him with his companions. After all, there's always strength in numbers. And do we have any pressing missions? We were supposed to be just headed to Fornos, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's just not necessarily time sensitive though, 100%. You can't
Yeah,
tarry for a day.
And deed itself seems just well enough. He says,
As long as we don't all
we
die,
have-
it should be fine.
He has already lost one. That alone is quite a dreadful weight to bear. As I cannot speak for the others in my group, but I will ask you all, do we wish to aid this fellow?
I will take any help I can get. Even a blind bear man is better than no man at all, I dare say.
I was not too blind to hit the troll that was about to eat you, little man.
Is that right? Baron dear, can you corroborate the story? I seem to have fell asleep before the battle.
Fellas.
Quivering in fear, most like.
Perhaps so. He kind of looks down and there's like a lake of urine between his legs.
I do not know if this is what your people consider humor, friend. But we did save your life.
And like I said, you help me find my brethren, my missing dwarves, and you will be richly rewarded. The trove we found you would not believe. Deep in a cave in the ruins of Dúrgonn, there were many things. Armor even, and trinkets. A glimmering ring, a large shield, and more gold than even a dwarf can imagine, if you could even think of such a thing.
Well,
Oh, yeah, I'm all too familiar with how your kind values the luster of gold. As I said, I presented before my companions, even if we were just to help you find your scattered kin. I, for one, I find the deed worthy enough and just. I guess I would present to you just the question, shall I travel alone or with my comrades in arms by my side?
I will go. Seems a worthy quest. Saving lives. And if we are rewarded for it with the treasure trove, I see no reason why we should not partake in that long lost.
We should not leave our new friend alone in these woods.
That I agree with.
And I would not be alone. This fire may keep me warm, but I would fear I would not get any sleep this night. I was by myself with only the cooling body of my brother to keep company.
Yes, as I said, the deed itself is just. Do not know if I could set with myself knowing that I saved your life only to send you off to another death. Delaying the inevitable, most distressing.
And with that, your snap in the woods. I'd like everybody to make an awareness check. TN14.
What check?
Awareness.
I may hope that.
Awareness.
I'm gonna hope that. I'm gonna
Am I
hope it.
Am I still weary?
Yeah,
You got banged on, yes.
Alright.
you need to rest.
I'm gonna hope that.
Everybody missed, so you can hope it. What would that bring it to?
So hope. I'm at 13 hope. That doesn't seem right. I think I used. No, I didn't use one. Okay, so I'll use a hope, and then for awareness, is it off of wits?
I believe so.
I am just going to hit it.
So you get 14
Yes.
success. So you, the rest of you guys, like, did not hear that twig snap in the woods, but you, Grimbrand, who might be a blind Bjorning bear, do seem to have some very perceptive ears. You hear harsh voices kind of in that dark forest to the north. You can only hear out one phrase with visible success. You just hear him say, "Ah, them dwarves seem to have vanished into thin air. Time to let old Jack know. It's time to enjoy our evening meal."
Yeah. Upon hearing that, Grimbrand kind of looks around. Shh. And where did I hear the voices? To the north.
Just to the north.
Up
Yep.
here. And Grimbrand's going to shh. There to the north, I hear guttural, orcish voices. We must get into cover quickly. And Grimbrand will, without waiting, dive into the bushes nearby.
Okay. Everybody that failed the awareness, I'm going to do another awareness. It's a guy. Lothrog.
I will hope that to make it an 18.
Okay, this is Aglaron.
So that'd be great
Misses.
success.
You got great success. Okay.
Aglaron has the quick of hearing feature.
I'll give you a success for that. So all of you guys can move into cover if you'd like. You can tell me what that looks like, and while you're slinking into cover, you kind of hear the voices kind of get louder and louder, and more guttural, and you can hear snapping of twigs and the sound of these orcs. They just smash trees to the side. They care not for green or living things. You kind of hear them say, "Well, I don't care if the Longbeards went to ground. I'm not going no further than their ruins. Glowbug came back. He says they're haunted. And I have a mind to keep my head on my shoulders." Listen, Ratglob, we don't have to tell Big Jack the whole story, eh? You don't have to know the Longbeards hold themselves up in them ruins. We can just say they're all dead, like at the bottom of the ravine to the east. He'll be none the wiser. You can keep a secret, can't you, Rat, my boy? At that, you see 6 orcs just like clomp into the, or 5 orcs kind of clomp into the clearing. And there we go.
No.
And as they clomp into the clearing, you just hear them go, "Ah!" The leader's like, "Oh, look at this! Somebody killed old Jack. Oh, well, the brother's dead. The other one survived. Where's my meal?" And they start to kind of, they start to slink about and sniff. All right, what are you guys going to do?
Dothward would immediately knock an arrow and pull it back, waiting.
Likewise.
Grimbrand.
Would Grimbrand be smart enough to recognize which one's the leader by the way he's acting, moving around, or? Because I know it's this guy, but I'm wondering if that would be something Grimbrand would gather.
You do have specialty orc lore.
Yeah.
No roll required, homie.
Yeah, so seeing that that's
Yeah.
seeing that's the leader, Grimbrand is a rather bold individual, so he would probably seek to cut the head off the snake, as it were. And I'm probably just gonna dive from the bushes and try to engage the chieftain.
Alright, Baron.
Well, physically, goblins should be smaller and thinner than actual orcs. And of course, I position myself near Aglaron, so the orc chieftain's the closest.
Alright.
Yeah.
Alright.
If we're all rushing out or whatever.
Aglaron intends to snipe the archer.
Dotsberg would go for the soldier closest to him.
Alright, here we go. So, Grimbrand, what does it look like as you rush forward? And I want you to give me a battle roll.
So Grimbrand dives from the bushes, is with his great spear sprinting towards the chieftain. Where is my battle? Oh, just hope it. Oh well, he beat me anyway.
Okay.
Now let's leave.
So, so he rushes forward, and he is, looky here. They're coming to put themselves on a platter. Get him! So he's going to get an attack on you, but all the rest of you are going to get a volley. And then we'll start the round. Does that sound reasonable?
Sure.
So, all right, set your stances if you haven't already done so.
It's moving me too.
So Horsath. Horsath drops his axe.
Oh,
Wow, where's my bloody axe?
convenient.
Seems to have lost my bowels.
I detect a trend here.
Is that another girl I hear screaming?
For some reason, I think we've all been renamed Patsy.
So he grabs you, sticks a spear at you, hits for 5 damage, Grimbrand. And the rest of you get your volleys. And then I want the rest of you guys to roll battle as well. See how many bonus dice you get.
That.
Which one are you shooting at, Dothrog?
That'd be the orc soldier.
So that would be, you hit 5 damage, right?
When do I roll my battle, they say?
It skills battle.
Not enough by quarter. Gotcha.
Acleron. I think. Such a curse. So Dwathrog, that was your battle roll.
Yeah.
Okay, so you get extraordinary success. You get 3 bonus die you can use for this match, and I will mark the token. And did everybody else roll battle?
I rolled the initial one, but should I roll a separate one now?
Yeah, why don't you roll a separate one? That was just to see who gets to go first.
I kind of hope that for those.
Yeah, then you'll get 3. I can mark your guys' token unless you guys want to.
I got it. I'll just. Oh, wait. You said it's 3 for extraordinary, yeah? Okay.
you say we got volleys too?
Yeah. Did you shoot yet?
They just took them.
Yep.
Well, I have a bow. That's why I was asking.
Yeah.
Right.
You can shoot.
Yeah, I would shoot alongside Aglaron, whatever his target was. That was the Goblin Archer.
Yep.
Boom.
Oh, it's going from... That would have hit still, though. But that was going from open, but
Yeah. That still
would have hit, though.
Yeah. For the volleys, you have to set yourself to rearward, but it's fine. It would still hit. That still would have been a great success.
Mm-hmm.
So that kills him. What's that look like as you shoot across the fire? The arrow weaves its way through these goblins, hits them.
He basically would have been, in his mind, a day late, dollar short. He'd see Aglaron using his elven reflexes, quickly fire and shoot. And he'll basically get startled. And he'll try to beat his target. He shoots. I'm assuming that since Aglaron missed, the archer ducked and moved. And basically ducked down and moved into my shot that was coming in. So basically the goblin was like, not gonna hit me, elf. Then the human gets him, you know.
Alright, now you guys are up for your melee. Grimbrand, you're up
Aglaron's
first.
woodland bow gives him a second opening volley. So let's do
Oh,
another
yeah.
round.
There you go. Ready for another one.
Yep.
You can do it.
You could do it, Aglaron.
Oh, no.
You can hope that, though.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, why not?
Who are you aiming at?
This goblin closest to the fire.
Yeah, that would kill him. So it looks like how he gets smoked and falls into the flames.
Arrow flies by, nicks his Achilles heel. He falls into the fire.
You guys can smell like roasting flesh as battle is joined. Oh, the other one's there's a bigger soldier that looks a little bit more meaty, and then the orc chieftain's nearby. Grimbrand.
After taking the initial hit across the chest, Grimbrand backs up a bit and starts to hit his head against the shaft of the spear, trying to get himself into a bit of a frenzy. So, and we'll rush at the chieftain with the spear.
Make it so.
I'll save the die for now. That is an edge.
Oh, you're cutting him down. Let me see. If
So that's 16 damage before the edge, but it's also an edge.
Let's see if he.
Nope.
Injury 16. He fails that, but he does have the trait. You have to actually wound him twice. So he's wounded, though. He's wounded. If he gets another one of those, he's going to go down. Damage-wise, that is 16 damage, yeah?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So what does that look like as he's staggered back?
Yeah, after taking the hit, working himself in the frenzy, he fakes as if he's going to do like a side swing with the edge of his spear, but then rears it back and sticks him through the shoulder and upper chest and just throws him back with it. I will crush you!
Away from me, Bearman. I'm going to rip out your throat yet. Alright, is anybody else moving into forward stance?
Yeah, Dothbarg will.
Alright, change yourself to forward. Pick a target, move yourself there, and attack.
So seeing the orc soldier that he shot with the arrow still standing, Dothbarg is going to come springing out the bushes. Barely making a sound as he glides in. Now to use the bonus dice, I would just add it now before I go, right?
So you can roll, and then what you can do is see where it says roll extra dice. On top of that, you can just roll it later.
Gotcha.
miss. Does not matter.
I'll get the eye.
Next shot against you is going to be a called shot. So what's that look like as you miss?
So as he goes running in, doesn't get the surprise on the oak soldier, and he parries his swing.
All right. Barondir, are you going to stay in open?
Yeah. He's not really a front liner.
It's your turn.
Oh, okay, I get to act, okay. Yeah, Barondir will see Grimbrand, of course, rush up, and then he'll note Dwathrog's presence. Come sauntering at his gimp-neat pace from the darkness I walk into the light. You will engage the Orc Chieftain. Nobody's taking damage, so there's no reason to inspire.
Well, there's some people that have some endurance loss, though.
But it's only what you took that round.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. It's that round.
Yeah. Well, it's what you taken during this combat.
That engagement. You're correct.
Technicalities.
But so, lagging.
Oh. So you come in to gouge the chieftain. He kind of grabs onto Grimbrand's spear and like kind of takes him and knocks him into you, knocking you off balance enough that you miss with your sword, and he kind of pushes your shield away, getting at arm's length. Aglaron.
Alright, Aglaron, not wishing to shoot into the melee, will target the goblin north of the fire.
Come on. There you go, pal. How does that look like as you strike him down with great anger and vengeance?
Aglaron looses an arrow, flies true to its mark, takes the goblin in the throat. He gurgles, falls across the head of the troll.
Their two bloods mingle, black on black. In the meantime, the orc chieftain turns his attention to Grimbrand, who just injured him so. He says, "Oh, come here. If we both die tonight, you're going to be the one that dies most painful." And he takes his spear and thrashes it like right across your throat. That's 5. He's going to use 1 point of fate to add his attribute level to the damage. So it's going to be 10. So you take 10 endurance loss on that one.
His strike's horrible.
Orc soldier turns to Dwathrag and has his spear as well and stabs directly at Dwathrag's midsection. So that's 4 endurance loss.
Edge.
Dwathrag. Oh no, it's not actually. No, that was a called shot. Does not hit.
Oh, there you
Does
go.
not hit. So the tip of a spear like comes right at you, gets caught in clothing, and it would have like just gouged you, but instead just tears your shirt a little bit.
Excellent.
In the meantime, Horsath has finally found his weapon and kind of steps out. "Where are they at? Let me at them. Let me at them." He doesn't take any action to help you guys. All right, Mr. Grimbrand, you're up.
So Grimbrand, blood in his beard, spitting up blood as well. If I die, let it at least be glorious and covered in your filthy blood. And I'm gonna burn all my extra dice on this because I'm weary.
So that's a hit. Tell me what it looks like as he goes down.
Blood running down from my neck onto my chest and beard. Grimbrand takes the spear in both hands and parries a strike that would have came for him and just smashes the spear through his skull and out the back. And then kind of walks over, limping a bit, getting tired, feeling dizzy, and gives him the big boot off the end and kicks him into the troll.
The Wathrog.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do the same. Burn the 2 bonus dice I have left, and give me a swing at soldier.
Success. Why don't you roll your bonus die there? Oh!
Extraordinary.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, decapitation. Tells me you can basically do like a Shadow of War style end game on this dude, wasn't it? Like,
So with the spear getting tangled in Darthrog's cloak, he's gonna grab hold of the spear and he's gonna swing underneath it, and at the same time lift up the sword and hit him right in the neck, so the head comes clean off, and then he's just gonna fling the orc soldier when he has his spear, just fling him down to the ground. Watch the head roll next to him.
the black blood just sprays out of him. As you do that, just covers you. And your sword is just kind of covered in this black ichor. And as that happens, just the fire starts to crackle again, and your breathing stops, and you notice that all the orcs are dead. Grimbrand, I would like to give me either a search or awareness at a target number of 12.
Let me see. Yeah, do awareness.
Great success. Yep. So you see after you kill that orc chieftain, just something gleaming in silver on his waist that just glimmers in the firelight and picks your attention.
Yeah, after taking a quick knee, wiping the blood from his mouth and spitting out some more, he pulls a hand to his neck but goes over and shuffles through, poking at something, whatever this shiny piece is hanging from the chieftain's waist.
And you can tell it's this like elegantly crafted, expertly made belt of kind of silver chain link, some kind of bright and gleaming gems on it, with kind of silver, red, and gold gemstones.
Ooh. And you pull it from the corpse and hold it up with one hand, looking at it. Ooh. Looks shiny.
As Grimbrand looks at it, staring at the shiny object, Arthedain cleaning off his sword's gonna look over. What'd you find there?
This looks fancy for orcish make. Little man, is this treasure that you speak of?
Horsath kind of looks up at you, and he's kind of breathing heavily, hoping that you wouldn't notice that he wasn't part of the battle. Well fought, Baron. I shall ever be in your shadows. Whoa, that seems to have the look of the treasure we sought, but I am no expert. Could just be an orcish smith got lucky.
Well, that is of ancient lore. That is, pretty unique. And Darthrox would move closer, take a closer look at it. I believe this one belonged to the great warrior at one point in time. It was given to him as a gift.
Well then, Horsath says, I suppose that is rightfully mine then. Yeah, holds out his...
And he pulls back. I claim it for now, until the owner finds me with it. Then I return it to them, if such a man exists.
I believe the owner is 1,000 years dead, sir. He has no use for it now. Give it here. I will see you have your share of the treasure when we get to Dúrgonn.
And Grimbrand will hold it up.
I believe that belongs to a great warrior. Grimbrand is one of those.
I hold it for safekeeping. Yeah, I'll do that as well.
The Bank of Grimbrand.
So, let me text you, Ghost. Message, rather.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. So, yeah, Horsath just looks at Grimbrand, watches the Bjorning either put it on his waist or in his satchel, and says, very well. There's such a small thing. There's much more where that came from. Oh, but the hour grows late, and I see some of you are wounded. I suppose we could press on through the night. We'll try to get some rest.
We need to rest. Myself and him, the ranger. We are in poor shape. Cuts are deep, but they will heal.
I definitely need some rest, that is for sure.
Barandir would have... Sorry, I need to use the bathroom and do a couple other things, but Barandir, I'm assuming, would have busied himself with post-battle stuff, like making sure the perimeter is secure. So assuming that by the time he's managed to come around, while we're still gathered around the fire, he'll hear Grimbrand's comments about wounded and rest. Immediately become a little flabbergasted and befuddled. He's like, wounded, you say? Says, here, where are you? Here, show me quickly.
And Grimbrand will point to a few of the scars on his chest and then lift his beard a bit, and there's a deep gash along his neck.
Start looking and biting his bearded bottom lip. He's like, most discerning. This may very well need sutures. And you there, Ranger, where are you injured?
I took the big one from the last battle.
Aglaron, are you all right?
Yes, quite well. The foul creatures were unable to harm me.
And you, dwarf, your hands, are they still injured?
My hands were never injured, good sir. What do you speak?
The way you dropped your axe, I just assumed that you had some residual injuries from the troll.
Drop my axe? Oh, the chieftain knocked it from my grasp. Yes, that was it.
In the bushes.
As
Who
you
else would
said,
it be? We're in a forest.
as you can see, I have 2 injured people here. Next time you drop your weapon, he says, we will have eyes to spare to help you find it. Nevertheless, we should not tarry here lest more orcs remain. Let's move on a ways, and then I'll see to your wound. Then we can find a spot to settle down for the night.
Horsath comes and says, that sounds like a good up plan as any. He starts to gather his things up through the camp.
Grimbrand will kind of pull Barondir aside while they're getting ready to move a bit.
Gondor man, I have to raise a concern with you.
Baron will raise an eyebrow. Very well.
The stunty dwarf one.
I'd be trying to keep my conversation, my tone quiet as I can.
When I took the belt, it was not malicious, but I saw the greed in his eyes. He may have the gold lust, treasure hungry.
Baron kind of nods, half-hearted, pretends he's fussing with your neck. Holding it, he's like, yes, this was my gut feeling as well. I had no knowledge of dwarves love to dwell within the woods so much. The feeling of their glory seekers, treasure hounds even.
I will keep my eye on him.
As will I, and I appreciate your advice, newcomer. The act itself, if he has lost his friends, help him find his friends, we shall. He tries to harm us upon the way, then I pity the poor dwarf.
We all lose. We have all lost. No reason to give in to his greed. But yes, we will find the rest of his party yet, I think.
Deed itself is noble enough. As I said, if he wishes us harm upon the way, then we shall handle it as best we need, as well as we needed to. I shall abide by no ne'er-do-well, nor shall I have someone try to pilfer my belongings in the night.
Agreed.
Best you ease your brain now. Let me see to your injury. Our words would be all for naught if you would bleed out before the sun rises.
So we're traveling a little bit, getting to a safe spot, and then you're going to kind of grass and treat wounds and stuff like that. Is that right?
Yeah.
Down here.
Yeah, move away from the carnage of the battle.
It's either that or we build a wall of bodies.
we got the troll and go Tauntaun, man.
Oh God. No,
I thought these things smelled bad on the outside.
not the stomach acid.
So for about a half hour, you guys go off into the woods in a direction you feel is safe. Horsath leading the way to the east and to the north somewhat. It's fairly easy going. You go up and down some gentle inclines and declines. After about 30 minutes, you find a nice clearing on the hillside with a good view of the surrounding terrain, and you feel that it's safe to stop and lick your wounds, as it were. Now, per the rules, if you get several minutes after combat, 30 minutes after combat or so, everybody gets their basic heart score of endurance back. So you can do that. And then I'll let you guys RP. What else are you going to do?
Berendir will take what supplies he has, any grasses he might be able to use as a poultice or something, moss or something. Start chewing on stuff. He'll get his needle and thread. I'm assuming it'd be like fishing line and a hooked piece of metal. That way, in case he needs to sew anything up, we'll basically take, I'm assuming there's a stream or something nearby. Take water, wash the wound.
Does anybody have any actual wounds that he treated?
No.
I don't think so.
Alright, so you get your basic heart score back, but then Berendir, since he's providing some excellent roleplay, I'll let him heal everybody a little bit extra with a healing or medicine roll, whatever it's called.
Any way I can assist him, since I have a dice in healing?
You can, and Berendir and Brimbrand could also give me each of you guys, if you could give me a search test, that you kind of search the area for things that.
Okay. Get the search out the way first.
I don't think I'd make it. No, I wouldn't make it, so I'm not gonna bother.
Search was a great success. Healing was an automatic great success.
So Ghost is stumbling around in the dark. He's pretty badly beat up. At one point, he thinks he sees something on the ground and bends over, and it's just a pool of his own blood.
Oh, that's mine. Never mind.
Try and put that back in.
As you make camp, you see Berendir be digging around the woods and pull some stuff off a tree and actually pull a dagger out and dig up something by the base of another tree. Start cutting some kind of root up, putting it into a pot of water. Start, like I said, making a chewing up stuff or making a poultice. Apply what boo-boos you have openly. Do minor sutures to your neck slash. Now is the best a week I can do. Is just the rest of it nothing more than rest. Speaking of which, I've made a brew here. Just be sure to drink it all when I give it to you. So the taste. Don't want to cuss there. It'll taste like foulness. It says, but it'll help revitalize your energies. Come morning, you should feel somewhat better.
Grimbrand will
take a drink of it.
Oh. The flavor is like the scent of bear dung. What did you make this of?
I put some pine nettles in there for fragrance. I was hoping that would alleviate the smell. Nevertheless, you're not a child. Drink it up.
Grimbrand would pinch his nose and guzzle it. Do we have a lot of supplies as far as food and things like that?
Yeah, you have all the stuff that you brought with you on your journey.
So I wouldn't really need to hunt then.
No.
Okay. No, I would probably spend, I may actually spend the time we have while we're setting up before we actually take rest, because we just came through some very tough battles. So I don't know that no, awe is not good here. Awe. No, I was gonna do something like this, kind of telling campfire stories, just of like great Bjorning warriors and things like that. While we're sitting here recovering.
Barander has no tact. He has no concern for tact when it comes to laying out bedrolls. He's going to make sure Horsath is like away from comrades in arms. It's basically like, live here, and then everybody else will just move over here. And were you actually going to tell a story, Ghost? I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're good. I was just wondering what role that could be, I guess, if I'm going to sit there and tell, just to bring people's spirits up, essentially.
You could do, yeah, just whatever, man. Lore, song, a riddle even, I would take. You don't have travel spot. You don't have a ton.
No. I guess,
You can try.
I just
fail would be funny too.
yeah, shit, could be. I'll do Inspire, why not? I would pass if I hoped it, so figure. Sure, for funsies.
I'll give you guys extra points for your sleep if you succeed.
Yeah, I'll spend it and pass. So, Grimbrand would settle in after there's a bit of silence with people setting up bedrolls and him being treated. And he would look about.
Who of you like good battle stories, overcoming great dangers in the wilderness or overwhelming odds? I have one I can think of.
I think that'd be good.
I have lived a life of battle. Stories can prove themselves to be entertaining. The floor is yours, Master Bjorning.
It is always good to hear of another battles through others' eyes.
Grimbrand kind of settle in.
We have a story in my tribe. Older warrior named Grimharth. I take some of my name from him. Anyway, Grimharth, great warrior, many, many years ago. Long before my birth, even the birth of my grandfather. He was a warrior of our tribe. There was a great beast in a cave near our homes. It had come out during the hunts. On the fullest of moons, it would raid the village. Our warriors were mighty. But this beast was something else. It moved like the lightning through the air. Its strikes could cleave a man in half. Just one single blow. And it would always drag off a few back to the cave. Grimharth, he was chosen to go fight the beast, the mightiest of our warriors. Only he had survived fighting it in single combat in our camp. And so we traveled It took him 2 whole weeks to find the cave. And when he did, the beast was within. Grimhearth observed the beast. It would sleep during the day, and at night is when it would travel. He set a clever trap, using simple tools, sticks, stones, rocks, and string. This cloth tied from end to end, and he lured the beast away. Just as the sky began to fall, the beast followed. It tripped over the cloth strung, a simple trap but effective. And Grimhearth, with his great strength, it took but one strike. He shoved his spear through the beast's skull. He returned with the skull as his prize. It still hangs in our lore master's tent. It is a story that both the mind and the body must be conditioned to hunt and to protect. Brute strength alone cannot fell a beast. Man must be smarter than that which he hunts, or it will claim him as a trophy instead.
Ah, very nice.
Well said. Good moral. Wise advice. Most entertaining. Baron will slap his knees and stand up. He goes, but the hour is getting late. If you excuse me, I must go relieve myself and then find my bedroll and retire. Then he'll saunter over to Aglaron, place both hands on his shoulders, and he's going out of his way to say it loud enough that hopefully Horsath hears it. And he goes, he grabs Aglaron, he goes, bless your elven ancestry and the need for not sleeping. Says you will prove yourself a most watchful god this evening.
I shall keep an eye out.
As always, do not let my snoring threat you. As I said, I must retire. Then he'll lean in, whispering as closely as possible, and whatever elven he can muster up, mixed with common. It is like, watch the dwarf. Trust him not. Find me wake me the first instant that you feel the trance upon you. Basically, meditate.
As you look over and you're saying that, you realize there's no need to be coy with Horsath nearby because he's already pulling the dock over there. Just
he's snoring through the Bjorning story.
He's snoring through.
We transfer him to the nap pod.
He
All
could
right.
be faking.
So for the awesome RP and the tail, you guys are sleeping through the night then, it sounds like. So I'm going to move it to the morning time. You wake up in the morning, and I'm going to say, typically from a night's sleep in the wilderness, you don't really get anything. But I'm going to give everybody back for the healing roll, for the uplifted spirits by Grimbrand, and all that, everything else. I'm going to give you guys 5 plus what you would typically get from a night's sleep in an inn. So what you would typically get would be, let me look. If you're uninjured, you would get 2 plus your basic heart rating. If you're weary, Dwarthrog, are you still weary?
Affirmative.
So 6.
What was that?
What's your endurance?
Right now with that 5, it'll be at 21.
I have your sheet showing full endurance.
It should be to the left there.
21 there. Okay, I see it.
I was doing the math because you said 5, so I was adding up.
Oh, yeah, so you would not be weary anymore.
Alright.
So everybody who is uninjured, and I don't think anybody has wounds, you get basically 2 endurance plus your basic heart rating, and I'm going to add a 5 on top of that for both the healing roll and the Beowulf story.
So it'd be basic heart score plus 2 plus 5?
Yes.
Okay.
Basic heart score plus 7.
Oh, baby.
Full strength.
Full strength?
Nearly. But that is good.
Alright, so I'll let you guys wake up, and you guys feel extremely refreshed. Way more refreshed than you would feel if you just camped out somewhere. Way more refreshed than you would feel if somebody just, bound your wounds and that sort of thing.
Dothrog would stretch and look over there where Barondir's at. Ah, that must have been Arthedain.
No, I don't think so. My mother used to give it to me when we weren't feeling well. Can't remember its proper name. She used to call it milkwort or something like that. It's milk root.
Well, maybe that's what you had to call it, but I think you have stumbled upon some of the good stuff. I feel much better.
It eases the muscles and soothes the stomach.
Agneron will catch Barondir's eye, sort of cut his eyes toward Horsath, and give a nod as if to say the dwarf was okay through the night.
Then he'll nod and raise his hand up, giving acknowledgement and thanks.
Horsath kind of rolls over. I can't sit up. That was a very restful sleep. I see there are 4 companions here. No more dead goblins, no more dead trolls. I dare say that was a good night. If only my brother was still alive, but I will have vengeance yet, and I will have treasure, I'm sure. Now to find our companions. Kind of stands up and tightens his belt. As the leader of this expedition, I suggest you follow me.
Oh, I suppose most leaders of expeditions would suggest that.
Myself and the elf should stay close by to you. We have spent much time in the woods. Probably more than you have.
Yeah, I know. I'll scout ahead.
Maybe so. Maybe so. At any rate, I know you are very good with your weapons. It might be good to have you at our side if things get nasty again. Although, I hope we did kill the rest of them. We will find my brethren, make off like bandits with this gold, and live happily ever after. Or so they say.
Well, I'll just be happy if you hold on to your axe for a while.
He just stumbles off, kind of traveling north into the woods.
Didn't the orc say somebody retreated into the caves?
Yeah. The orcs, just because we would have heard all the orcs were talking about. There were people holed up in the cave, and that the cave was haunted, if I remember correctly. So that they.
Yeah, I thought they said somebody was holed up or retreated.
Yeah. So I'm thinking I know where the other ones are, but I'm thinking it's not going to be that simple.
I also couldn't remember if it was just you that heard it, or because I couldn't remember which of the awareness checks that it was. If it was all of us while we were hiding in the woods heard it or what.
No, that happened squarely when they were in the camp, so we all would have heard it, unless that's not correct. Is that correct? But we were all there and heard that.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, you would have all heard it. Yeah. He thinks they're still lost. The orc said that they kind of fled initially, then kind of retreated back into ruins or whatever. And then the rat glob said, we're not following back into that. Basically. So Horsath kind of stomps off to the north. You're kind of following after him. He says, "You, bear man, you, elf, keep your eyes peeled. Dwarfs are not known for their swift passes through the forest. If you happen upon some boot marks or something like that, please let me know." That goes to the forest.
Darthwag would have been out a few paces ahead.
Have any idea where they might have gone? Do you all have a rendezvous point of any kind?
He kind of looks at you. Oh, if I did, I suppose it's been knocked out of my skull by Jack the Baker.
Those orcs we killed said someone went into the cave, that they were hiding there. That might be yours.
Oh, is that right? They would go back to the ruins? I didn't hear them say that.
You were busy looking for your axe again.
Is it far from here? Is it far from here? Makes sense if it was close enough that they would flee to somewhere familiar.
Couldn't be but an hour's journey, I suppose. At least in the light of day.
They could have ran there, then again they could have run any direction.
You guys head through the forest. And the sun kind of goes overhead. You start looking for tracks and that sort of thing. I'll let somebody, or all of you, can make a search for hunting. And we'll see who rolls the highest.
Ooh, I like hunting. Wow.
I will not hope, I don't think. Tried and true. Oh yeah. I might hope if it's the only chance we have of passing.
Baron Deer.
Yeah, let's see what Baron Dude does there. There you go.
Okay. I'm gonna make you guys a corruption check. So you guys are getting far from this road. You're going off the beaten path, kind of up into these low-lying hills. Every now and then you see these crumbling towers, and Arthedain and Dúrgonn, you're much more sensitive than this man of Gondor. After all, Dwathrog, you have the blood of Numenor through your veins, and Aglaron, as an elf, you are so perceptive to nature and the feelings and emotions kind of stored in the trees, stored in the stones. And as you go through there, you just kind of get visions of battles and death, of sieges lasting months, of people starving to death as the old realm of Angmar crashed down from the north to the east and put siege to this region. So I want you guys to make a corruption test for at TN 16.
That's them or all of us?
Just the eyes. Just
The sensitive ones.
the sensitive ones.
Is that rolled off the sheet?
Is
I-
it wisdom or
yeah.
warrior?
Wisdom,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah, it's wisdom. It's wisdom. Ooh. He fails that, unless he hopes that you get a point of shadow.
Yeah, we'll hope it.
Add to your heart. Yeah.
And you guys should always be changing stuff on your sheet, not your bubbles, by the way. Just the way I have it coded.
Wisdom is not on my...
It's
So-
not a skill. It's more like on the
It should
top.
be off of your sheet.
It's underneath
Oh.
experience, valor, wisdom.
There should be like
Ah.
a little dice icon.
Yeah, it was hidden. So I was like, maybe I'm looking in the wrong spot. So I went back to the list.
Ooh. So add a point of shadow to your sheet, son.
Would it be permanent shadow, right?
No, temporary. Permanent shadow you only gain after a use bout of madness,
Gotcha.
which you guys are not near to. So you guys kind of go through these hills, and Dwathrog and Aglaron, I'll let you RP how that kind of affects you.
So Darthwog, as he's going through the woods and going by some trees, he's ahead of the group. Just gets a sense of the strife and what all happened, and he feels the beauty of it all is overshadowed by the feelings of the dread that's there. Thinking many of men have died in horrible ways.
Aglaron, as he's walking through the woods, every once in a while he seems to hear something, and he looks into the distance, ever growing more agitated as we go further and further.
Well, eventually, Baron Deer, you rolled the Dolph, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, eventually, Baron Deer, you pick up what look to be like large, heavy boot prints in the forest. Initially, they are very unorganized, as in scuffling around, as if fleeing something. And then as you follow the path north, they seem to coalesce into a path leading further to the north.
So it looks as if they were fleeting or just flailing around.
They're flailed around and they eventually come together, basically. You're tracking them. At least you know that.
They're headed toward, do we know where the ruins are located?
No, but you know that the path's leading this way, and you know from what the book said that they're there.
Okay, from what they are, something supposed to do. Okay.
Unless you're a simpleton of a Gondorian. Chris.
Assuming Barondir is caught Aglaron kind of lost in thought / illusion of hearing something, Barondir will stride up near him and draw everybody's attention. He's like, "Everybody on me!" Look at Aglaron and kind of put his hand on his shoulder, push him playfully, but at the same time make sure he's okay. "I can't believe your elven eyes didn't pick up on this sooner." He'll start pointing to the ground. It appears to be boot prints, a lot of them, flailing around. So what's this over here? Looks like they were scuffling about, but it becomes organized in this direction. Look, a path. See if the dwarf reacts to it in any way. He's pointing. Yes, most definitely there's a path that moves onward to the north here.
Horsath has his axe over his back and bends down close to the earth and inspects the boot print. "Ah, you're one fine tracker, Southman." I suppose my old eyes are dim. I would never have seen these. Lead the way, good sir. Tuned soon to fortune and glory, I suppose.
Heavy feet helps.
Heavy feet. Full bellies and full pockets of gold, no doubt. Ha!
Tell us more about your fellow brethren, the names. The one that fell there, he said he was your brother. His name was...
His name was Dúrgonn. Horsath Barrelbrew.
Dúrgonn. And the ones we seek now?
Their names I can't. Grumpy, Sneezy. He lists. He does know them. He lists off several dwarves' names. He lists off five dwarf names that are typical dwarf names. Not all of them have the surname of Barrelbrew, but they have, things like a long beard and gray mantle and iron belly and that sort of thing.
Was his brother the only one that fell with the troll?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, his brother was the only one that's been eaten, and he does seem to express extreme remorse about that situation.
Yeah, because Barondir, he's definitely wary. Trying to get the dude to even say if there's names out there. See if he has to struggle or stammer to come up with something, or if he actually knows what the hell he's talking about.
Why don't you give me an insight check at TN 16?
Insight. Oh, there is a skill.
It's kind of like the social perception or social awareness.
Not 1,416.
Well, 16. You can hope it and have a great success.
Inside his heart. Yeah, that'll make it a 20. Great success. Go ahead.
So you make small talk on the way north. You have about an hour journey. You don't sense any deception about his brother Dúrgonn, which I have to write down now. So I said Dúrgonn. Dúrgonn, son of Finarfin. It's a dwarf, no doubt. A stunted elf now. You sense no treachery there. He lists off the names of his 5 companions. You don't sense that he has any animosity towards them at all. But you do get the sense that that he's hiding something. And Barondir, with your gentle prodding, you kind of uncover a story about how we went into these ruins, and there was a beautiful cave carved into the side of Dúrgonn by a stream that no doubt has flowed many hundreds of years, cast a sparkling light onto the ceiling. And at the far end of it, well, I suppose in the end we know who it belonged to. It belonged to Jack the Baker. But before he disturbed our plunder, our evaluation of the treasure, he found the greatest of things. There was a shield, Barondir, and he kind of turns to you and points at your own shield. A shield that would put this to shame. Although, no doubt you have wielded it with great honor. His shield was light, but it was strong. It seemed to glow of its own accord. Ah, what a fetch it could cost. What a price I could fetch for it back in Bree. And there was one more thing. A ring. A simple silver ring that seemed to glimmer in the light of the underground stream that flowed within the cave. Well, I wanted that one for myself. And no doubt, before I started arguing with my brother Darfit, well, that's when old Jack the Baker arrived. We've got to get back there. I suppose the 5 of us left are fighting over the treasure. They need my strong personality, you see. Divvy it up evenly between them, and of course 4 different ways now. I suppose you'll be given your fair share. And he just, as you kind of make friends with this guy with that great insight roll, he just has diarrhea of the mouth going up to Dúrgonn and starts to spill off the secrets.
He's painting the place to be awesome, and the orcs said haunted.
Eventually you kind of like crest a hill, and on the crown of this hill is these ruins you see. So Dúrgonn sits atop a low hill, commands a view to the south. Far, many leagues now. You can see the east road kind of crawling between the trees. To the east you see the glimmer of a swiftly flowing stream. The hill is dotted with small copses of trees, their orange and red leaves fluttering in the crisp wind that's blowing from the west right now. Most of the ruins' ramparts are reduced to rubble. What once served as an outer wall, as you kind of climb into these ruins, is collapsed and covered with soft, thick green moss. As you approach, you spy birds' nests in the ruins' nooks and crannies, and they kind of fly away and chirp and flap their wings as you approach, circling upwards into gray clouds. When you come closer, you can see that central keep's roof is collapsed. You see that there's a tributary of that eastern brook that has bubbled into the ruin's base and carved a yawning black cave that's surrounded by broken and battered stone blocks. Ah, here we are. I dare you're right, Gondorian. It seems my brethren have holed up here. I suppose they don't want to let that treasure be left alone for too long. You never know when another troll's going to wander into this area.
They're the ones the orcs spoke about. Curious to why the orcs didn't pursue them further, or return with the severed heads, or whatever it is they do.
It's clear. My brethren have a advantageous position. No orcs would dare pursue them into these ramparts where they have the advantage of cover and sharp axes and stout hearts. After all, they're dwarves, just as brave as myself.
You can almost hear Aglaron's eyes roll.
Aglaron, why don't you do a explore would be good, or search. explore or search or other check as you look for signs of orcs or trolls?
Vander will look at the ruins themselves. Do they look dwarven?
So yeah, as Barondir goes about and looks around the ruins, Aglaron kind of goes closer to the earth and runs up and down the ramparts looking for evidence of goblins or trolls and that sort of thing. And he doesn't find much
We're
at
still
all.
in the woods, correct?
You're kind of up on the lips of the ruins, like kind of looking in over.
Alright.
So Aglaron doesn't find much.
He gets benefits if he's in the woods. That's why I asked.
Oh yeah, for that reason.
Actually,
He would pass. Huh?
if it's actually considered still the woodlands.
Okay.
Yeah, then that's a pass.
Yep, perfect. Thanks for reminding me about that. So no, you don't find any evidence of the trolls or orc refuse, at least on the outside of the ruins. But you do see like some old ancient coin that seem to be scattered about the place, and they seem to be kind of in the highest concentration near the mouth of the cave.
He'll gather a couple of those to show them to the others. I say, the dwarf seems right. What I've found, he flips a coin.
So, to Wathrog, if you look at these, you could see that they're from the kingdom of Arthedain, of ancient Ardor.
Arthedain. Darthrog's gonna kind of look around. You could almost feel it here.
So as Barondir, you're exploring around. Why don't you give me like a search or explore? A great success. So as Dwathrog, I'll get to you in a second here, Rembrandt. As Dwathrog kind of looks at the coins that Aglaron has brought back to him and lifts them into the morning lights and kind of looks at their inscription, Barondir searches the ruins as well, and he comes across a giant column. It's one of the only ones that hasn't been completely shattered. And he sees what looks to be an ancient transcription on it. He sees the transcription, and it seems the dialect seems somewhat familiar for him. And if you make a lore check at TN12, you'll be able to translate it with your Gondorian knowledge. Otherwise, you'll have to get to Wathrog to come take a look at this thing.
12, you said?
Mm-hmm. Perfect. All right. It's coming your way. Can't copy and paste from my PDF. Copy. Paste. There we go. I'd say you would be able to transcribe that because you got a great success on your other check.
And it's on a column?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, 'cause I was looking to try it. You notice he'll be crouching around investigating the ruins. And rubs his chin, bites his lip wistfully, spots the column and starts looking. Definitely got his eyebrows raised the whole time, muttering stuff like this doesn't appear to be dwarven. Seen this tongue before. Huh. Interesting. Spin back around. It's like, dwarf, did you and your fellow brethren take anything from below here?
No, absolutely not. We didn't have time, as I said. As some dwarfs do, we are given to petty greed, but we usually get over it after a couple brews and a couple blows, I say. Nay, we were scared off by these Jack the Baker before we could take any of this treasure. I'm not always proud of it, but our fetching here along the East Road, sometimes in Bree.
And Ghost, did you say that you're wearing the belt?
Yeah, I would have it on right now.
And Sam, you said that the belt belonged to a great warrior, maybe?
Yep.
Okay. Arendir's eyes will dart around, acknowledging the dwarf's comments, looking towards the belt around Grimbrand's waist, cuts his eyes back to Dwarthrog, scratches his head befuddledly. He says, I'm not quite entirely sure that anything should be removed from this tomb, to be perfectly honest. In fact, we might have to return these trinkets.
I am not opposed. This is pretty, but it does nothing for me.
Well, if you find no use for it there, man, we'll give it here. It would at least line my pockets. Myself and my brethren, we have expensive taste. What can I say?
Let's find your brethren. What I read upon this column is true. The belt's owner may very well be amongst the number.
Very well. Onward
Again,
then.
that's only if you're superstitious.
I am not the superstitious type, man of Gondor. I am the type of man who deals in gold and ledgers and bravery.
By all means, then lead on.
So as they're doing that, Grimbrand kind of looking around. He doesn't find much. He doesn't find much at all. So what you have to go on is the cave and the coins leading up to it. Very Scooby-Doo, I know, but it's what you have to go on.
And I'm assuming if we were able to mutter amongst ourselves, say an entryway full of coins, inviting. Too easy.
Agron just sort of chuckles and nods at that.
I find the orc's words of the place being haunted most distressing. If what I read upon the column is true, and there's some sort of sentinel here. We're all too familiar with the whites of the barrow. Having encountered them personally, did most you? I know Aglaron and I did.
Yeah, Agron, you know that shit.
Yeah. He says, if by chance, he says, these dwarven spelunkers, he says rather sarcastically, is upset someone buried here. He says rumors of haunts and ghosts may very well be true. Best we steel ourselves and proceed forward with caution.
I agree.
I don't relish seeing the dead walk again.
I myself do not know if any of us here are equipped to face one.
Try to stay away from places with spirits. Best not to disturb things that linger, else you become part of their like.
Best bet would be to return the item. Try to appease such a creature by letting them know that the one that stole it has been dealt with.
Agreed. I will present it to whatever this thing is, if it is a thing.
For now, it's just nothing more than skeptic conversation. Children frightened at shadows. We are men that just act like men. Proceed on, Horsath. We shall follow.
Very well. I shall lead the way from the rear. Make sure that no one
You
stumbles
stride forward
down
and
the chair.
stride forward and call out the names of your companions. After all, they would most likely try to harm us with their axes or shoot arrows at us.
They would do no such thing. They'll welcome us with open arms, as long as they get their fair share of the spoils, eh?
Nevertheless, you proceed on. Call out their names.
With that, you guys proceed down into the cave.
Yeah, I want him to go first.
No, he'll go first. 5-minute bio here. And we're going to go.
So we're doing a brief break, he said.
Go here. There we go. We good?
In my mind, you get a lot different reception from the guy calling out to his buddies. Yo, man, where y'all at?
Alright, I'm gonna go
As
take a look.
opposed,
Alright,
I'll be
put
back.
a brief
as
pause.
opposed, as a,
Yep, we are live again.
Great. So, as you guys clamber down the embankment and crawl into the cave, the air just kind of gets cool and clammy the further down you go. This is the purview of trolls. The smell of them kind of saturates the area of this old troll hole. Droppings kind of dissolve into dust as you tread upon them. And the cavern is narrow at first, but then as you kind of go further on, and you can kind of hear Horsath going, dwarf name. Jerry, George, Elaine. You know, his voice kind of echoing off the canyon as he kind of goes go further into the cave, and kind of has this huge vaulted ceiling, and you can hear ahead of you the running water, and there's a faint flicker of firelight as you creep forward. Your shadows cast these long, harsh shadows on the walls. You can see a campsite eventually as you kind of get further and further, that's kind of strewn with traveling gear. And then just beyond the midpoint of the cavern runs the subterranean stream that's likely responsible for carving the cave. The water flows swiftly and gathers in murky pools, and small piles of rubble are near the stream shore. In its middle is a hasty bridge constructed from a narrow ladder. From across the stream, you can hear gruff voices rising and falling as if in argument. Horsath kind of starts to kind of go forward. Boys, boys, boys! What are you guys doing?
Darthwog is going to keep the distance, but keep pace as well at the same time. Just kind of stay a few things back.
Aglarod will move around to this corner and sort of stop there and look around.
Andrew will move supportively to both of his friends.
Grimbrand will move forward, looking around and sniffing the air.
You smell, the smell of like somebody roasted some sausage in the morning, and it mingles with the thick and sweetly scent of weeks-old troll droppings.
This place is disgusting.
Oh. You kind of see Horsath kind of running up. Oh! Boys! It's me, Horsath! Horsath! And you can kind of faintly hear voices kind of from across the stream. That's you, Horsath? Come over here! Come over here! We've made it! We've made it back! I think we lost old Rock Glob in the forest. It's all ours now, sir. All ours! Horsath stops briefly to warm his hands at the fire and says, kind of turns to Grimbrand and Dwarthrog, who seem to be closest. See there? No harm at all. No harm at all.
We don't see the other dwarves, do we?
You might be able to see if you get close enough to the fire. Can you see them? Can you
No.
see them?
Can't see nothing.
No, you can hear the voices. They're just dream. Yeah, you might not be able to see them.
I mean, Grimbrand's going to remain wary, looking around, because he knows that this dwarf has been taken a bit by gold greed. Who's to say the others haven't?
And Horsath calls across the stream. Oh, Jarsath! Bring a piece over! Bring a piece over! I brought some friends with me, and I have some troublesome news to tell you of old Dorfin. Oh! You kind of hear some scuffling from across the stream, and you see eventually a dwarf kind of go across the bridge and kind of steadies himself, and eventually kind of lands on the bank, on the embankment, and looks at all of you guys and kind of gives a very deep bow. And so whom do I owe the pleasure, Horsath? Who are these? He just kind of looks at you and says, "They're my friends. I dare say they saved my life. And I also have to say that Dorfin, my dear brother, resides now in the belly of Jack." And then, dun dun dun, like, the Barrelbrew kind of like, oh, looks at you guys, falls and says, "So Dorfin is dead?" "Oh. Yes, Dorfin is dead." And, Jorvath, the other Barrelbrew, kind of looks at Grimbrand and says, "And so what did you tell these men here?" And he just kind of shrugs. "I'll let them introduce themselves." You can see at least two other pairs of eyes on the other side of the stream. "So, says Jorvath, the other dwarf. So did Jack rip out your bloody tongue, or what?
I'm Grimbrand the Runner. I am of Thorn's folk to the north.
I'm Darthrog, ranger around these parts.
From the back, Aglaron. Hi, I'm the Aglaron of Mirkwood, Master Dwarf.
I am Berendir, son of Bethadir, the Battle of Belfalas, and former captain of the guard of the Iron Down Regiment.
Iron Down Regiment?
You and your companions need to gather their belongings and make their way here. Post haste.
Oh. You deign to scare us off of our rightfully earned treasure? Horsath, you did not bring a bunch of thieves with you, did you? For I have no intention of parting with our rightly earned trophies.
Trophies, you say?
Aye, trophies. And you can see that Jorvath has with him like a shield that seems to like faintly glow in the light. Aye, trophies.
You are carrying that which does not belong. You are thieves. I come to return this.
Pounds the belt on his waist.
You come to take. You are fools to think you can take without having something equal taken in return from you by this place. Think hard on this.
Jorvath says, I am thinking, but then again, I am a dwarf. It takes quite a long time. He kind of casts a sidelong glance at Horsath. Horsath just says, very well, my brother. And he kind of finally wields his axe. And he says, well, I will be eternally grateful for your assistance with that dastardly troll. A dwarf and his treasure are not easily parted. We have you in a tight spot, and it seems we'll be keeping what is rightfully ours.
None of it is rightfully yours. Pillaging.
And at that point, two more of these bastards kind of crawl out from behind this boulder. Both of them have their axes out as well. And battle will be joined. Aglaron failed his awareness check. So he didn't see them creeping up on him. The first one to start the battle is going to creep up on Aglaron and take a whack at him.
Hoo-hoo!
Misses.
Lucky boy.
So he misses. There will be no volleys except for Aglaron, who because of his trait still gets a volley even if there are no volleys. But I want whoever has the highest battle to go battle.
It's probably gonna be Berendir.
The highest battle?
I have two
mine's
dice.
like two. Yeah, mine's two as well.
I'm thinking Berendir probably has 3.
Yeah, 3 feet.
There you go.
Standard target number?
Well, it's going to be opposed.
But the target number is 14.
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
16 versus... let's see what Horsath rolls. Ooh, 20. They go first. Except Aglaron. Aglaron spins with his bow, and what does he do?
He was watching the entrance to the cave, so he's taken a bit unawares by the dwarf leaping out behind the rock. He spins and fires at him.
You can hope it.
Yeah, why not?
And what's your damage?
Damage is 7 with the bow.
7? Okay, cool.
Yep.
So he... Boom! You hit him right in the gut. He staggers backwards. Rah! Get him, boys! This treasure's ours. We're going to leave here. Rich! Rich, I tell ya! Alright, and then they won battle, so they're going to get to go first. Aglaron, you guys are evenly matched and you're in the rearward. So kind of in character wise, you're kind of dancing around. You want to be able to stay away from everybody. But the dwarves kind of close on everybody else. And so set your stances. After your stances are set, you let me know and we'll get started.
Always red all the time.
Always red. Grandban, you go first.
They go first?
No, they go first, but you only get attacked first. These gangs have no special. Okay. So he kind of presses at you, kind of swinging his axe.
Bad man, got a dolph!
Got a dolph, bad man! He misses! So he presses in on you and takes his elbow, cracks you across the chin. You shrug it off, and he comes down at you with his axe. Misses you, buries it in the sand. Tries to pull it up.
You are too slow.
The second one crawls up from behind the boulder, taking his axe, swinging it to Wathrog's hamstrings, hoping to take the man out and drown him in the water, clutching at him with all of his greed. Great success! So that's 7 damage. Dwarthrog.
Alright. Did I roll my protection from that?
Yep, change it on your sheet. No, you don't have to roll protection.
Gotcha.
Change it on the sheet. And then Barondir, who is in a tight spot between two of them. First one attacks you, hopping up on this bench and coming down at you with his axe. 5 damage from that one.
He in turn.
Does he take some damage in that too, though? Is your weapon?
Yeah, my shield will reduce the damage by 5, and my weapon of great lineage will deal 4 damage and counterattack.
What?
Yeah.
So how does that look at you? Just take your shield and basically just knock the guy unconscious. So it's like, because he's already weak from Aglaron.
Yeah. As he comes up to hit, and he like lands a resounding strike. It's against his shield. He's thinking he's going to bypass his shield, but he realizes Barondir brings the edge of it and basically catches the edge of the axe and pulls him forward. And in turn, as he does so, as he's spinning and flinging the dwarf around, he swings his sword out in front of him and catches the dwarf with a knock against the side with the edge of his blade.
He just falls down unconscious. Horsath looks at him and says, "Oh, Jim Bath, no!" and he goes after you. I gotta see what type of hateful skills I have with them. Strength, he is toughness. Okay, good. Ooh. That would be 16 damage. And I'm going to spend a hate. I'm going to spend a hate to add another
much?
7.
How much damage?
16. It's a great success. It's not a normal success. I'm gonna. So 16 plus 7 should be what? 22.
16 plus 7 is 23.
23.
That's a great success.
Now you can also choose to be knocked back. Instead. Do you want me to look that up for you?
Choose to be what?
You can choose to be knocked back instead of take the full damage, and it halves the damage you would take, but you can't take a combat action the next round.
So I'd miss a turn?
You would miss a turn, right? Well, you can like kind of move and RP, and you can do your rally and stuff, but you couldn't do a combat action.
It wound up being weary.
So you would take half of 23, rounded up, so we would say 12. Rounded down, rather. So 11. So you would take 11 damage if you chose to go that route.
Yeah, I'm just trying to remember how endurance, you go weary whenever you're
If you're below
So-
encumbrance.
if you're below encumbrance. So your encumbrance, I will look. Yeah, your fatigue is 22.
and if I took down, that would bring me down to 8. I would be weary, correct?
Yeah, you'd still be weary. That's correct.
Be weary either way, to be perfectly honest.
Mm-hmm.
Delay a turn. Yeah, I'll take 12. He'll knock me back. Dwarf will knock me back on my ass.
Yeah, so tell me what that looks like as this Horsath comes out of the shell. Not so cowardly am I now, man of Gondor.
For once in his life, Berender's eyes go wide. Saw old Butterfingers was really catfished his ass good. Yeah, he lands a blow that knocks him staggering backwards over the body of the dwarf he just friggin' took out with a touche. Doesn't say much, just lets out a enormous guffaw and gasp, effect expired air. Just, "Whoa!" You can hear his arrow knee pop as he falls backwards onto his butt.
Oh, torn ACL. So as you do that, you start to hear creak, creak, creak. As another one of the dwarves starts to build a little bridge. And you guys are up.
How sturdy does that bridge look?
It looks not that steady.
So say
Like a ladder.
a very heavy midget were to get kicked onto that bridge at a high rate of speed, do you think it would maybe knock that bridge in the water?
Absolutely.
Hypothetically speaking. Oh,
Hypothetically.
should we roll battle rolls, by the way, for this? Or for bonus
Oh,
dice?
yep. It's your first round, so yes, you guys get battle rolls for your bonus die.
Did VR ever tell us that dwarves can't swim?
Two. I'll take that.
Make it slow, Sam. Yeah, Barondeer gets 2.
Yeah, I got a
Agron
great-
gets 9.
great success.
Sim's on his way back from a power issue, apparently.
Oh, he has to disconnect. There it looks.
Agron gets 1, I think.
Yep, Agron gets 1. I'll roll for Sim.
What's his great success?
Ah, nothing for you, Sim. Sorry.
Okay.
I got a great success on that. Over.
Yeah, 2. Through being weary as well.
What you gonna do?
Okay, so what's the roll to boot a dwarf into this ladder? Also, how deep is this water, by the way, that's running through? Does it look like?
It's deep enough to be cool when somebody falls into it.
Very well. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and try to give this dwarf the big boot into this very unsteady bridge.
Okay, if you want to push him off rather than attack him, just give me an attack, and it's going to be versus his athletics.
Okay, I will blow both bonus dice on this as well.
Okay. So you're going to try and knock him into the ladder, shatter the ladder.
Yeah, pretty much I'm just gonna try to I'll describe it if I get it, but...
Sweet.
And I already called both dice, so I'll roll them as well.
Oh yeah! I was about to say, damn,
Oh, I
it's
hit.
hard to topple a dwarf, but it looks like you might have done it.
Oh, that's automatic.
I thought I hold...
That's
Is it showing the dice on your end? I hit the bonus dice. Oh, wait a minute. Roll extra dice. Let me try that. There we are. Oh my god, it's extraordinary.
Extraordinary. So
Yeah.
you take them both out. So how's that look as you knock them and the ladder shatters and they are both cast into the icy cold water and flail about drowning.
So Grimbrand is kind of locked in with the dwarf as he's swinging at him, kind of locks his strike, and that whole both weapons are braced against one another, and Grimbrand's looking at him.
I have known the stunty men to have honor. You do them a disgrace. And so I shall cleanse you of your dishonor and your failures. Hurrah!
And this push him, launch him into the bridge, shatter it.
Have a nice swim.
Shatters, they both go down. Oh, no, help me, help me. My pockets are too heavy with gold. They start to drown. They kind of start to help me. No, no, they start to swim towards the shore, and they're going to get swept away unless you help them. And help me! I'm sorry. The spell. Make a corruption check at 14.
Oh no.
You can try to save him if you want, but
This corruption check might decide if I do that.
okay.
And this is wisdom, right?
Yes.
I feel no shame.
So Grimbrand looks at them, and
It is not my intent to kill you dwarves, but I don't have to save you either.
Just let him get swept away.
they tried to kill us.
All right. Yeah, no, fair enough. Fair enough. So they get swept away into the underground cavern. You just hear the
My conscience is clear.
Dwathrog, you're next. Oh, that's awesome.
1 second, the screen.
What's going on the highlight reel?
It's hard to knock a dwarf down too, man.
Easier when you're 8
Ordinary.
feet tall.
You can't get a better roll. You know, Dolph and extraordinary success.
Oh, looks like there's some mopping up there.
I don't know, Horsath's pretty badass.
I've got it.
Waiting for it to finish loading.
Barondeer, you are open as well, so you can go if you.
I thought I missed a turn because I got knocked back.
Oh, you did. But you can still rally.
I can't do anything. You said.
No, you can't make a combat action.
Alright, so Darthrog being next to the brew barrel gang guy there and getting hit by him, not being too happy, so go ahead and take a swipe.
Yes. That open stance gets you every time.
Yeah.
So you just chop. He backslides. You miss him. Barondeer, what are you doing?
Yeah, I was reading to make sure that I could do the rally.
If I say you can do
Yeah.
it, you can do it.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna make sure I marked off weary on the sheet. And I rolled a battle. I got a great success. I don't know how many thingies it gave me.
That gives you two. 2 bonus die.
2. I'd spend them both on this inspire attempt then. Basically, he gets knocked and winded, and he sees the fight going on, and he hasn't quite seen the dwarves go. All he hears is a splash and screams, and he's basically flying blind as he's swinging and trying to get to his feet. He's like, Terry, not no, rally together. Let's do your best. He says, give no quarter. Let my prone form. I'll be on my feet by your side. Be together. You can do it.
Do your best.
Roll it up. Do your best. Aye.
He did his best.
What is that? What do they get back? 4?
I
3.
gotta roll 2 extras.
Oh, yeah, you get some extras. Nah.
So yeah, 3.
So anybody who has endurance loss gets back 3, including Barondeer.
Does the fatigue have to? Does the fatigue have to be higher than your endurance?
Equal or higher, I think.
Yeah. If you're over your encumbrance amount, then you're not weary anymore. But if you're at or under, you are tired.
0.
You're.
I'm still tired.
I'm so sleepy.
To Wathrog, you missed, right? So, Aglaron, your turn to miss.
Alright. I will miss Horsath.
You're anti-macro.
Oh, I didn't even think about it. Sorry.
He's anti. Because it tells the dumb GM what your damage is and stuff. So just tell me, what's your damage on that?
7.
12 with the great. Because he has 5 character
yep.
damage.
Yep. That's 12 damage?
Yep.
No edge, though. So you hit him hard. He's knocked back over the bench. I'm coming after you next, elf, after I spill the blood of this furry bastard here on my left. You killed Dirmath and Dorvath.
And now I will kill you too if you do not drop your weapon.
I'll take that as a suggestion that I will quickly refuse. I think they're back up now, right?
Yes,
They're back up.
they are.
You sense the other guy on the other edge of the bank. He's like skirting along the bank, trying to find a shallow area. So he's not doing anything just yet. But Horsath turns on Grimbrand and engages him. Alright, you guys still in forward?
Of course.
Alright.
It is actually my best chance to avoid it, believe it or not. Not that, though.
Holy shit.
I'm going to sleep now.
That's 14 plus 9, that's 23.
I am asleep.
And mark yourself wounded as well since you got knocked to 0. Hits hard. What's that look like?
You tell me. You devastated me. It's yours. The floor is yours.
So he kind of, with arrow sticking out of his right shoulder, just rage comes in this dwarf's eyes, and there's a glint in there that's just completely unnatural. And he comes right at you, and he kicks you with this push kick, his left boot, and then you kind of stagger, and he brings his axe down across your left shoulder, severing completely the tendon, making your arm nearly useless. You fall to the ground, striking your head on a rock, and darkness overtakes you. Good enough. Stay down, bear man. I'll come back for you when I'm done with your friends.
Well,
That one's dead. Dwathrog, you get attacked. Oh. 7 damage.
almighty.
So you take 7. He presses in upon you. His axe just misses you, but then he cracks you across the face with the haft of his weapon, and your blood just explodes. Your nose explodes into blood.
Oh. And then Darthwag is going to stagger back a little bit, holding his face, looking at his hand.
And they're done. So back to you guys. Grimbrand is out. Is anybody going forward stance?
I'm going to switch to forward.
Then you would go first.
We are not amused now. Darthwag's going to make a spinning swipe attack here.
Extraordinary success. Are you two-handed?
Yes. I use this not holding onto a shield.
And you kill him. Tell me how that looks like.
So being hit in the nose and being stabbed, he's not too happy. Looking at his hand, he sees the blood, and immediately all the feelings of the dread of the place hits him, and the fact that they're pillaging the ruins. He's builds up the anger and just does a backspin swipe at the little dwarf, connecting right into his side, going deeper than he thought it would.
Instead of black blood, just red blood just sprays up into your face. Barondir.
Barondir, seeing the giant bear man get bested and Dwathrog injured. Now that he's managed to catch his breath, get more composed and advances forward. That's it! That's it! Keep pressing the attack! Grimbrand's he's unconscious. Looks grim upon his face, but he strides forth. He's like, now blood and steel meet bone, in the light of the battle's wake. Oh, how the sands of time will shake. He says, fret not. Our proud soldiers stand with weapon and shield in hand. The sound of our charge into glory shall ride atop these dwarves' vanquished pride. Who's with me? Lets out a cry. and we'll attack Horsath Spire.
So if he succeeds the Inspire, because I know we did it once before, where what's his name was getting up constantly. Yeah.
Ogdred. You regain consciousness.
Oh shit.
It's just like you're knocked out. You just kind of like, ugh. It's like, I would say cinematically, like in those World War II movies, like they have the ring in the ears, they get knocked out.
Ooh. May not matter.
Extraordinary success, and
Wait.
what do you do to this bastard?
What was that? I'm lagging.
I said, what do you do to this bastard as you finish him off? That's an extraordinary success. You can go medieval.
Oh, it's more than... Well, it's also Tolkien. what I'd like to do, I'm not gonna do.
Nah.
So,
Man, have you read Children of Huron, man? It gets gruesome.
okay, we'll go old school first stage then.
There, first
Basically-
stage. Go first stage on the fast.
Yeah, he trades hack for hack. He's looking at Grimbrand, and he brings his long sword up, brings his shield up, and then all of a sudden lets his guard down and just brings his sword hacking down upon the shorter opponent, the dwarf. And it catches him like in the clavicle and just cuts him down to his sternum straight on through. Then he uses his boot to push him off with the blade.
He is like, no. What happened? Oh. Blood just kind of sprouts from me, collapses on the ground.
Let's see that Inspire.
Alright.
Oh no.
Grimbrand take the wounds he did.
I will hope that to get a great success.
Is that 3 back?
Yeah, 3 back.
3 back. Do it. Make it so.
And the heat of battle is upon Aglaron, so he fires at the dwarf on the other side of the stream.
Oh! You're in the dark too, though.
Edge.
Edge. I'm not going to make him roll this. He's getting ready to jump across the stream. Not knowing everybody else is falling, but what's it look like as an arrow sprouts in his throat? I mean, with this.
Yeah, it's just a simple one.
First age, come on.
Arrow flies through, takes him in the eye. He staggers
Picture a
back.
dwarf. Just about to say, I just picture a dwarf going through all that time and effort to find the perfect spot, and then after hesitating and debating, looking at the water nervously, he like runs and lunges forth, only to get struck and distracted, and he misses.
Yeah, his arrow just sprouts out of his right eye. He just splashes in the water. He just floats down like the other. No! And he disappears from view. And as the battle clears, the breathing slows. I'll let you guys pick up the RP.
Aglaron spits. Seemingly in disgust.
Greedy
Goes over to check on the bear man. Not that I'm any good at healing.
Baronder's just recently kicked Horsath off of his blade, and he's almost ready to lose himself. His face grows dark, and he's just like, why? Why did it have to come to this? And then that's when he hears Aglaron come up behind him. And that's right, the Bjorning. He spins around, quickly distracts himself by trying to help the big guys come back to consciousness, get on his feet or whatever.
Grimbrand would have stood up as everybody's rushing over. Just kind of look around.
What happened? We were fighting, and then I met with my ancestors for a moment.
You'll not be feasting with them this day. Kind of claps him on the shoulder, the uninjured shoulder.
It is a shame. Their dinner smelled exquisite.
Baron will be patting his injuries, trying to staunch the flow of blood. He says, "It's rather simple. The dwarf gave you one hell of a whack, so I decided to return the favor. He's lying over there."
It is a shame that the stunty men chose to forsake their honor.
Whether they were treasure seekers or tomb robbers, I guess the whole situation could have been handled better. It's truly a shame.
Do we return the treasures still?
I say now, for now, we take what dead we can, sort them to the side for proper respects, then ascertain the damage they wreaked upon this cairn.
Okay. I will help get them to the side.
Grimbrand's gonna stagger over and grab Horsath by the arm. Start dragging him.
Grimbrand, as you stagger up, blood streaming over your face, you grab Horsath by the arm. Which hand do you grab him with? You grab him with your right or left?
I would grab him with the right.
So you grab him with the right, and as you do so, you pick him up and turn him over, but you see something on your index finger on the right, this gleaming silver ring. And it's quite possibly the most beautiful thing you've ever seen in your life. And I want you to take a point of shadow automatically, and then make a corruption check at TN 18.
This is on his person? Or,
Yes.
Okay.
No, it's on you.
It's on me.
After you fell to the ground. Yeah.
Okay. So it's a temper perm shadow.
Temporary.
Okay. And then TN18.
Uncorruptible. So you take that shadow. But as we end the session, you do indeed hold up your arm, looking at your forefinger in this silver ring with a single shining gem in its center, glinting in the firelight. And you indeed do think it's beautiful. And as you do that, it's almost Barondir, Aglaron, and Dúrgonn. You stand above the blood and the gore of your fallen enemies. You are not a man, not a Bjorning. You're almost like not even Numenorian. You appear fair and regal, like one of the first men, almost. And it seems there is a fresh breeze in the tavern as they look upon you and they say, "Now there, Grimbrand. That's a true man." And we'll end it there tonight.
Okay.